I live my life a quarter mile at a time. Nothing else matters. Not the mortgage, not the store, not my team, and all their bullshit. For those 10 seconds or less, I'm free.
Sorry, but not really sorry. Any car fanatic has to be a fan of the Fast and Furious franchise, and that was just too tempting not to say in a video, especially in a video that features the Challenger. Yes, I know Dom drove a Charger and not a Challenger, but again, too tempting, and I gave in to that temptation. Hey there, Brick family. Welcome into another LEGO Speed Champions video. In this video, we will be featuring the set Mopar Dodge SRT Top Fuel Dragster and 1970 Dodge Challenger Trans Am. Specifically, we will be building the second half of the set, the Dodge Challenger. Oh, by the way, please make sure to support the video by subscribing to it and hitting that bell icon for notifications of new videos. Also, as I said in a previous video, let's grow our little brick family into a big one, because the bigger the family gets, the more poly bags and sets I will be able to give out to you all. Finally, in case if you didn't know, I release new videos every Wednesday and Saturday, so stay tuned and glued to the YouTubes. Focusing back on the LEGO model of the Challenger, the first step of the build focuses in on the, you guessed it, the rear of the car. You also start this model with, you guessed it again, the ubiquitous black chassis piece that you find on all 2020 plus Speed Champions models. The minifigure is of a race car driver with a nice pair of cool and swanky looking aviators, because you all know that all drivers of these types of cars drive with aviators. He also sports black hair that is slicked back almost like the Fonz, and he is a real cool looking dude for sure. So as the build goes on, you may notice these white LEGO elements that have a knob sticking out of them. I paused for a moment and wondered what the hell this particular element was for. Obviously the element would be covered because the car is purple and black, so the mystery deepened as the rear of the car was being built. As the back of the car was being built up even more, the mystery of those white elements were eventually solved. As you are building the rear lower bumper of the car, you put on these black elements with an open claw on the bumper. After you are done stickering a part of the car, you end up hooking the black claw element onto the white knob element. This is a clever method of building that these genius LEGO designers think of that I, as the feeble-minded regular human being, would never think to do. Moving on, you build the taillights of the car, which again uses methods that I would never think of using, and then you move on to build the rear duckbill spoiler of the car, which is represented by, well, angular sloped black elements. True to the LEGO Speed Champions cars, they make the chassis smoother by putting flat, non-studded LEGO elements on top of the car. Finally, with regards to the interior, there's a microphone that represents the shift knob of the car, and you also build the 2 seats. Aside from the ubiquitous steering wheel, there's really nothing else in the interior of the car. In the second step, you built out the front of the car and then, well, finish off the rest of the car. Oh man, I almost forgot to talk about the set itself. This set weighs in at 627 pieces, retails for $49.99, and was released on June 5th, 2021. This set, unfortunately, is the last set that LEGO has released for 2021 that I have not built and reviewed yet, which is why we're going to build a set today. There are 4 bags that come with this set, with the first 2 being devoted to the Dragster, and the latter 2 being devoted to the Challenger. Thankfully, the Challenger has a lower sticker count of 12 total, which is not as frustrating as some of the other sticker-heavy sets in the 2021 Speed Champions lineup. I am also going to go out on a limb and say that the piece count for the Challenger is somewhere around the standard 200 to 300 pieces, which would make sense because the Dragster is a much bigger model than the Challenger. So the total time plus stickering will be around 30 to 45 minutes, so not too much time commitment for this build. Again, while I was building out the front of the car, I noticed some more white LEGO elements that are usually used to hook something on them, and I wondered if the designer was going to use the same technique to attach the front bumper to the car. Then lo and behold, the answer to my question quickly came. When you are building the front bumper of the car, you use white claw elements on both sides of the bumper. After you finish the front bumper, you put on more frustrating stickers on it, and then using the claw elements, attach the bumper to the body of the car, much like how the rear bumper was attached. Again, super clever on the designer's brain. Also, I will mention that I really like how the hood scoop on the car was represented by using some ingenuitous methods and techniques with a total piece count of only 7. I thought they would use more. Anyway, rounding out the build is adding the front windshield, rear windshield, and the roof of the car. So as you can see here, I wasn't paying close enough attention, and then yours truly, to no one's surprise, screwed up and ended putting the racing stripes that belong on the left-hand side of the car on the right-hand side of the car. Oops. Well, that is the beauty of Lego, because all you need to do is to switch the pieces to the other side and voila! In many blinks of an eye, bingo! No more mistake. With regards to the stickers, they are true to the racing stripes of the original Trans Am. Finally, you build the side exhaust on the Lego model, which uses a gray element with a hole in the middle of it, which typically is used to attach cylindrical pieces to represent the exhaust. The last thing I really like about this car are the wheels, actually. If you look at a picture of the wheels of a Trans Am, on the outer edge you will see holes, interestingly enough. It appears that the Lego group may have made custom printed Lego cap piece with black half circles to represent those holes on the real car. Overall, I really enjoyed building this car. As I have said before, I am not an expert nor a fan of American muscle cars, but I sure as hell can appreciate their power and their iconicness. With regards to the Lego model, since Lego generally tends to be rather blocky, and the Challenger is, well, kind of blocky relative to a modern day hyper and supercar, the Lego model looks spot on compared to its real life counterpart. The front hood scoop is perfectly represented along the headlights and grille. I suppose the only thing that is slightly off is the placement of what I believe are the orange lights at the lower part of the car in the front. It is hard to translate the curves of the side profile of the real Challenger, but the Lego model does a fantastic job. In fact, I really like the side profile of the Lego model. It has the stripes and the look of the real car. As I mentioned before, I love how the designers used a printed cap piece to represent the wheels of the Challenger. Finally, with regards to the rear of the car, using angular pieces to represent the duck bowl spoiler was awesome. Again, the rear of the Challenger is rather boxy, and the Lego designers used that blockiness to their advantage, as the Lego Challenger, in my opinion, of all the 21 Speed Champions models, most closely represents the real car. Again, kudos to the designer of the car model. It looks absolutely fantastic and is an incredible representation. So there you have it, folks. Second to last 2021 Speed Champions car model is now done. Please let me know how you feel about this car in the comments section. Again, I would love if you could support the channel by subscribing to it and making our little brick family grow into a bigger one. I will see you all in the next build.